Okay, so bought those, the writs to unlock those. Um, Obviously there are more writs to get. Um, the cost of them seems to be at least temporarily plateaued. I don't want to get all wishful thinking and hope that it's done going up. Um, but the cost is at least plateaued. But these are about half done. So, and then I'll actually just shift these over because the stuff in these is stuff that should be out. Um, I will have to rearrange these two rooms slightly because the passageway where those go is probably obstructed. Um, but yeah, because these have the outdoors stuff, I'm just going to move those wholesale. Once the spots where they'll actually attach are complete. Um, I have a little more stuff, so I can maybe get a little more work done. I have 42. Meaning I'm not likely to be able to get more than one piece done. Yeah. Oh, yeah. A new game week has started, so the rewards for, hey, mine this many nodes, chop this many trees, catch bugs, etc., have refreshed, and these have refreshed. Oh, by the way, because she actually asked for something I had managed to get that done, but I haven't gotten the quest for that. I think I have to go talk to her daughter. Um, how much? Sure. I did finally. Oh, they're in here. Um, they're difficult to catch not because they breathe fire, but because they're rare, so they don't populate very often. What I ended up doing that worked was like you farm mining nodes, you break the rocks so that it can respawn and be pallium. There are more reliable places to do that. They don't have that for the trees yet, but you have to farm trees for them to have the chance to respawn and be flow. So what I figured is, you know, this place has populated a bunch of these basic bitch bugs that I don't actually want, but if I get them out of the way, maybe the ones I do want will spawn. And that did actually work a bit. Then I tried something else, which mostly, but not entirely, spawned junk bugs. I made a one of these and got a number more. Now, if I had caught all the fucking butterflies that also spawned, I probably could have gotten more out of it, but I'd never actually used one of these before. So I was mostly just getting proof of concept, but it's also an expensive build. Anyway, so I finally got those. They also give silk. So it wasn't just putting that into catching bugs, it was I can also get silk out of, well, silk thread out of that. So it's worth it. Now with Ash, what I expected was the letter would actually give me a quest, but the letter just gave me basically a come see me to get a quest, but she doesn't even have a marker on her like she has one to give, so I am wondering if it's bugged. Because it would show on the map and it would also show on here if they actually had one to give. But we can talk to her and see.
I was about to pass out from boredom.
You don't have anything there. Oh.
Here. Hope you don't get murdered.
Ah, someone who doesn't give me a splitting headache. Oh,
Yeah. The game tells me there's a quest available, except it's fucking not. So... Shrug. What the... That wasn't what I... Yeah. Weird. Anyway. I could spend, like I have been, my forage metals on buying flow planks. But When I was out here earlier, there were people actually farming flow, but I had run out of pallium, so I was farming that instead. Because, of course, they weren't farming it right in front of where I was doing that. They were farming at the lighthouse. Even though you have to climb up and down and... Been using these. This little spot does spawn them on occasion. You are the wrong grasshopper. There is a azure stone hopper, I think is what it is. It's a blue grasshopper, and it also gives silk. Thought I saw you. I don't see them often. Because they're not common, but they are a thing I keep an eye out for when I'm killing time waiting for rocks to respawn to break again. Because silk is another one of those resources that I keep needing more of. You are the wrong grasshoppers. Shoot. The thing is, when I'm farming for pallium or flow, or both, cluttering my inventory up with a bunch of fucking bugs I don't even want, and ends up being a problem in a different way. I don't have the right arrow to deal with you. Neither did they, but they tried anyway. Oh, I see you. I see you. I see you. You. Shoot. 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 None of you are the things I want. And the moths just don't give a fuck. Which makes them easy to catch in quantities. Okay. Are you maybe AFK? you're AFK for too long, you do actually get logged out. Oh, you have the wrong kind of Or you have the lower level pick. Not that it's wrong. Oh. You're, aiming wrong. But sure. That's most of the places rocks can populate in here. A frustration I keep having is scavengers, in that they come in and they only go after the pallium. They will just leave rocks that need to be broken for it to fucking spawn there. They want to reap the benefit of someone else's labor instead of actually contributing to it. It's frustrating. I have been doing loops of farming baby trees, partially to spend the time to give the rocks a chance to respawn, but also for science. The baby trees, well, the thought process behind it is, the baby trees fill my inventory up with lumber slower. Now, I will get a little less flow out of them, but I have gotten 2, usually 1, but 2 flow out of tiniest tree, but a 1 chop tree. But a 3 chop tree, I've also gotten 2. So, now the bigger trees, beyond taking more work, and the biggest trees needing help to be chopped, they can give more, but more work. The baby trees I can farm on my own and get at least a little bit of flow while I'm primarily farming pallium. If you're gonna farm flow, it really needs to be that group effort to divvy up all the fucking lumber amongst multiple people. I should actually take a look at the trees and figure out if this would be a reasonable place to farm. Downside is mixed medium. You end up with stacks of 2 different kinds of lumber, take up more space, and these, instead of those heartwood trees, the pine trees, have a better chance of spawning flow than these. Not that they don't do it, just lower chance. You're not a choppable tree. You're not a choppable tree. You're not a choppable tree. I'm not quite sure how broad the area. I think you are requires help tree. You're one that I don't work on my own. Yep. out, you want to stretch with the loop. Because the more people you have, the quicker the area will get mowed. You don't have the vertical distance to deal with like you do with the lighthouse. And even coming down here. It reconnects. You can go down there and that just comes back up around that side. I have spent enough time making loops, both mining and farming little trees and looking for reasonable spots to do either. So and it's a better idea than the mine, because the mine you have to climb up to the top. There's no good quick way to do that. I have looked and I haven't found one anyway. And nearly all the trees outside the top of it are sapwood trees, the ones that have the lower odds. So I think the better twofer of being able to get both would be farming flow in the area around here. There's more trees in a potentially more compact area up there, but getting through the mine to actually get the pallium that spawns in it is a lot more labor intensive, and nearly all the trees are the white ones. So I think it would work. No other rocks. Okay. Because these reliably respawn. Not always as pallium, but if you keep mining the rocks, they do. They have a few spots over here. There's a double geyser spot that has a few in it. The mines have a few levels that you have to follow, and then there's, I think there's a spot in Proudhorn. But the ones I've spent any time at or in at all are there, here, and poking over to that. while I'm waiting for this. But if you want to be generous, sure. But I do also keep coming back and mining the rocks that keep respawning there. But yeah, actually the other spot is reasonable to get to from there. Well, no one responded, so I guess that's a no. Geyser 1. Falling down there is a pain in the ass because trying to climb back up is a pain in the ass, but that can be. And, you. There are 3 spots. Right now they're all rock. But they don't have to be. Getting back out of that hole is the real downside to being here at all, because you have to be careful not to get stuck. I mean, if you get stuck, you can just travel home. But you can actually climb out if you fall down there. God damn it. Stop! Fucking hell, stay zoomed in when I tell you to zoom in, instead of popping out. Fucking hell. I do want to find more of those, though. I'm not farming baby trees right now. No. Anyway. The downside, or downside for bug hunting, just about any bug, the ones that have no fear of people aren't a problem, but the ones that are actually useful, and a bunch of ones that aren't necessarily. People just run around through and spook them and fuck up what you're doing. Whether or not they're intentionally fucking it up is kind of secondary. It's more the, well, that was rare and now it's escaped because you weren't paying attention. And that's not helping me any. So, I have had, in some cases, a harder time than I needed to catching things just because people ran through and spooked what I was after. But that's what I've been doing. I would get the little ones along here, then up here, and then you kind of coast down and get the little ones there, and there, and there. Check in there, then come back out out. There's one there, there's one over there. I drop down that level, there's 3 there. Then come back and check again. Depending on whether or not I see anything worth catching, and how much time I actually spent mining things. That loop ends up being close-ish to the amount of time it takes for that first baby tree to respawn again. But it gets... I mean, obviously it's repetitive, you're grinding. But yeah. 1, 2. That one is 3. 4, 5, if I'm also including the white trees. Tiny one up there is 6, and then 7 up there, and then it goes down to 8, and then 9, and 10, and in, and then there's that one, another one like it, down there, and then that drop down to that other level that hooks back around, that has a one of those, a one of those, and a one of those on it. No, I haven't spent unreasonable amounts of time doing that, because that's just what you do. Fucking furniture. Like, I would have been fine with the resources I had if I hadn't decided that, yes, I am going to make all the sets of furniture. Yeah. Anywho. I more wanted to talk through the thought process and the sciencing I've been doing with my baby tree farming. Then actually come out and do another bout of it. But yeah. If you have real shit luck climbing back out of that hole, which, no, I don't want to show, you can just... Hopefully you haven't used that recently enough that it's not accessible, because... Oh, well, I'm not home, but... I'm now home. But, I think it's once every half hour is the, rate for using that. Oh, right, I need to make more seeds. I had swapped to the carrots. Because with the with these actually chili oil dumplings, it's not the only recipe, but it's one of the recipes that has any vegetable, and the one that sits on top is carrots. And rather than having to take the time to actually look for and select a different one, I might as well just use the one that is selected by default. It's easier. Oh. So I get to have a bunch of carrots. And then when I ran out of carrot seeds, I put out wheat. Because I had less of it. But it and rice both get used. Chapa masala provides more, but it requires 2 different rare ingredients that, since I need flow planks, I am not spending my foraging metals on getting more of those. So I will run out of those if I just keep using them making chapa masala. So I'm making the stuff that's easier to make with the materials I've got. Most of these, but not all of them, have apples in them. Now that I've got them. I mean, that still won't be enough to finish the sets that I've got. That won't even get me to having enough to make another piece of anything. Things are going to probably be very different once I'm done with the fucking furniture. Not that I won't still want those materials, just the quantity and frequency of use of them will drop sharply. I didn't... I made that piece and I didn't get the option to choose new recipes. Meaning these are the last 4 pieces of that one. I don't know if that's the case for those other ones. But I am actually, now that most of the other stuff is out of the way, sets are give or take 3 and a bit full rows. I have basically 2 rows of Dragon Tide, so there's probably a whole nother row worth. Okay, and you start there and you're not even 2 rows, so yeah. But not all sets are the same size, so that's only a rough indicator, but yeah. I have some number more left to unlock with both of those other ones. But I'm getting there. What I'll probably do... Yeah. I have time to get other stuff done in this game and outside of this game before those are done, and then I have, you know, decorating to do again. Progress. There are things... That one's broken. I could try and do that. I could do that. I could maybe do that. But anything in that category is dubious. Because plot is a dirty 4-letter word. But I could be exploring and advancing in other ways. I'm just trying to, and for the sake of giving my brain a break, I might do a little bit of that, or at least foraging for the stuff that I'm not spending those metals on because I'm spending it on flow instead, to give myself a break from the grinding for materials for fucking furniture. Maybe. I don't know.